Action. What's going on, everybody? It's Mike and Steve with Mancave Sports, just giving a quick recap of the Vikings week 5, 23-17 win over the New York Jets. A game that, quite frankly, was probably not the best played as far as aesthetics speaking and just good football. I think both quarterbacks struggled. I did read today too that the Jets coach, his future was pending upon this game, evidently. Much to the chagrin of him. Sounded like he had to be escorted out of the building, was none too happy about his dismissal. But uh, at the end of the day, the Vikings go to 5-0, the only undefeated team in the NFL, along with the Kansas City Chiefs, who won a stinker last night against the Saints. And once again, the Vikings keep rolling. And quite frankly, 5-0 is excellent. I believe they have a 93% chance to make the playoffs. If you talk to a lot of Vikings fans, myself included, before the season, I don't know that playoffs were a realistic possibility. We probably would have taken 7, 8 wins just with a lot of unknowns and a lot of turnover and whatnot. But nonetheless, the Vikings keep rolling. Steve, what did you take away from the game?
Yeah, that was it was definitely a sloppy game. The turf wasn't the best. The weather conditions weren't the best. Sam Darnold had a Sam Darnold-esque performance, but then we also on defense held Aaron Rodgers to a Sam Darnold-esque performance. They had right around the same passer rating, right around the same QBR. So, Brian Flores' defense stepped up for us and 3 picks. We got a pick six from Van Ginkel. A lot of different contributors on that defense. We probably have guys that are rotating in right now on defense that could be starting on other teams. Let's be honest. We probably have enough guys, especially in our linebacking core and our edge, our linebacking core there, that could be starting on other teams that are rotating. We think of Dallas Turner, Grenard, Van Ginkel, Cashman, Ivan Pace Jr. You've got a lot of guys that are rotating in. There's 3 spots there, and there, 3, 4 spots that they're rotating and sharing. So, yeah, I thought the game. It was a lot of fun to watch it in the morning up north. I was in way northern Minnesota, so that was kind of cool, different environment. Sitting up there in the middle of the woods watching it, but it was a good time. Um, yeah, a lot closer than I thought it should. But then KLC stuck with him. Second half, when we needed him, he said, "Go fire that ball out there again." And they went back to Jefferson. They went back to the well, and they got it done. And that kid who looks like a high school sophomore of a kicker that we've got, he comes through and hits all the things. So it wasn't pretty, like you said. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing. Great game if you like defense. But yeah, it wasn't much to write home about, that's for sure. Especially not all the way from London.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, and that 8:30 start, that's something a little different. You know, cracking a beer that early in the morning sometimes, but luckily I had the next day off anyways and went fishing. So, but 5-0, they got the Lions coming to town. Obviously, the bye next week, so we won't be doing one of these. But a lot of good things to talk about going into the bye. I think the bye comes at a great time. You have Hawkinson on the verge of returning. The Aaron Jones injury is a concern, and
Yeah.
I think that allows him some time to get some rest. And for Quasi KOC, the organization to determine if they need a plan B. I saw that I believe Jones is week to week, but as
Yeah.
you can see, Ty Chandler, who I think is very serviceable, he struggled in the second half to generate any run game. But like I said, the offense, you could definitely see the absence of Jones impacted them greatly.
Yeah. Jones is he's got that rare combination of speed and power that some guys are very powerful, but they're not very shifty. You've got other guys like Ty Chandler, who's very shifty, very fast, but running up inside in those holes, they've got to be pretty clean. Otherwise, he's not the Chandler isn't the guy who falls forward, right? Like Aaron Jones, whenever he gets hit, he's always falling forward. He's getting an extra yard just because of who he, because of the way that he runs. He gets low below his pads. Ty Chandler is not. I've seen some rumors talking about maybe we go get like Travis Etienne from the Jaguar, from there's other running backs out there that people are like, do we go pick him up and get him practiced in as an insurance? I don't know. I think you could make do with the combination of CJ Ham and Ty Chandler and
Yeah.
Miles Gaskin and, mix in some other things. The other thing we got to remember too is that we've probably got coming back out of this PJ Hawkinson. He's
Yep.
more than likely going to be back against the Lions. I don't know that, the running game might just be slash and burn type of stuff. But we're really going to be able to hit that middle of the field better. We touch on it a little bit each game, right? Oliver, Johnny Munt, they get fed the ball a little bit, but I really think that with Hawkinson coming back, he'll be on a bit of a snap count, but you're going to see them, um, mix in, and we're really going to start attacking the center of that field. So it could be something we could go against the Lions and do a little bit more up tempo, try to get Aiden Hutchinson tired, and not really have to worry about having that bruiser, Aaron Jones, running it up the gut all the time. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Um, I look at the Lions. It's probably our biggest test that we're going to have for the next 6, 7 weeks. Now I don't want to, knocking on my desk here, don't want to jinx anything, but after the Lions, we got the Rams. They're in the bottom, and I don't think they're going to have Puka Nakua or Cooper Kupp back in time for us. The Colts, they're probably still rolling with Joe Flacco. I like our defense against Flacco. Jaguars are the Jaguars, so I'm not really, they still get the stuff out. Then we have the Titans, and Will Levis is probably going to throw one directly at Patrick Jones's face at some point during that game. So I don't know. And then we go to the Bears. That one might be a little bit dicey. It's going to depend on, that one's into November. It could depend on the weather. It could depend on, um, which Caleb Williams we got.
Yeah.
So it's not looking bad for the next six, right? We won the first five. And the thing of it is that if we go 500 the rest of the way, we go 6-6 the rest of the way we're in the playoffs, right? We're going to have a wild card, maybe the division. So we'd really set ourselves up nicely here. Like you're talking about, I wasn't really thinking that we were going to, I was telling Aiden, my son, let's temper our expectations
Yeah.
for this season. And, I'm thinking we'll probably be fighting for a wild card, maybe challenge for the division title, just depending on how Sam Darnold or, especially once JJ McCarthy went down and said, we're probably looking more wild card bird. So being 5-0 right now, we're kind of playing with a little bit of house money, I think.
Absolutely. And you talk about depth and everything else. You think about this, and we got to see Nick Mullins throw a pass up, and had he hit Jones in stride, we would have had a touchdown. But Jones made a hell of a play. But
Right.
right away, I was glad to see Darnold get back in there, because I'm not going to say Mullins threw him a wounded duck. It wasn't a bad pass, but he underthrew it a little bit. If he had hit him in stride, there would have been a touchdown there. But uh, hopefully, the Vikings can continue to remain healthy and keep it rolling. And the Lions is definitely, huge game, because that's to me, that's their ultimate threat to win the division. Green Bay and
Yeah.
Chicago kind of hit and miss. I just think the Lions, especially going to the NFC Championship game last year, really bring something to the table that the other two don't. With that,
Yeah, I think I
oh,
agree with you there. No, no, I'm just agreeing with you there, buddy.
okay. With that, I am ready for my three keys of the game, or the three takeaways from the game. First one was just Darnold in general had a rough game. I think he hit 45% passing for 179 yards, had another pick. I believe, if I recall, he overthrew the receiver, and uh, rough game for him. I will say this, that key fourth quarter drive where they kicked the field goal to go up 6. He did hit Jefferson with some nice passes, was very poised. I thought they would come out there running, but KOC was aggressive and said, "Hey, let's get the ball down the field." And Darnold delivered at that point. Obviously, statistically, his worst game as a Viking, but he got the job done at the end of the day. So hopefully he's okay. I know he got a little dinged up there, but got the 2 weeks to rest for the bye, so I think he'll be all right. Um, and I will say this one other thing that I noted. He, there were a couple passes to Addison that were just horrendous. I think there was a third down one where he threw it 5 yards in front of him and Addison was wide open and it was like a 10-yard pass. So nonetheless, Sam Darnold struggled on Sunday, but hopefully he dusts himself off and comes back and does a good job going forward. Aaron Jones, to me, that was huge. I think it played a significant factor in the game. And granted, we were up largely due to Van Ginkel's pick six, but the dynamic of the game changed once Aaron Jones went down. We were unable to rush the ball effectively the rest of the game, and you just see his impact there. And I guess I'm not going to say we took it for granted watching the first 4 games. I know I forget what week it was. He had a rough game. I think game 2, but he's been in
Yeah.
every week consistent. He can he's very versatile. I mean, he can block, he can run the ball, obviously, and he can catch out of the backfield. So his presence will be greatly missed if he has to miss any games. But hopefully he's got the next 2 weeks to recover and comes back playing like he has up to this point this season, which is at an elite level. I mean, he's been one of the best backs in the league, before his injury there, where he missed the second half of game 5 there. And last but not least, the defense. I mean, they bended a little, but they did not break. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, hell, I remember seasons he probably threw what 7, 8 picks in a season. I mean, he consistently does not turn the ball over. I mean, he's probably got the best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history. I'd like to look that up, but I'm pretty sure he's right up there. And we picked him off 3 times, which
Yeah.
is huge. We got pressure on him, 3 sacks, which we like our 5 that we were getting in the first 3 games. Took a step back in game 4, but 3 sacks. They got a lot of pressure on him. I know Harry got one. It was good to see Pace back too. You could see his impact out there, where we missed him the
Yeah, definitely.
prior week. So, but the defense continues to shine. Uh, B-Flow once again continues to get them in a position to make big plays. Where the biggest thing is we're winning the turnover battle, and I believe we are now 22-0 since O'Connell has been with the team when we win the turnover battle. And I mean, if they can continue to do that, they're going to be tough to beat. So those
Yeah,
are my
100%.
so those are my 3 takeaways. Steve, who is your bad MFer of the game?
Uh, you talked about Beeflo's defense, right? And definitely I'm going to pull somebody from the defense here. There's a lot of great possible candidates. Van Ginkel's pick six, that was huge. And, he read it perfectly. He dropped back. Aaron Rodgers he fooled Aaron Rodgers, right? He got one over on him. But that was a 63-yard run. That was a big pick six. Um, the defensive line with the linebackers, we're now leading the league in quarterback pressures, right? We're number one in the NFL in quarterback pressures. So I mean, they were getting after him. Blake Cashman had that crazy Superman where he almost knocked the ball out of his hands. We saw Stephon Gilmore shut the door, which is good because Stephon Gilmore, if Aaron Rodgers was paying attention, he was burnt on a double move. So that kind of, but he redeemed himself and slammed the door shut with that interception. But the guy that I'm going with is somebody that I think is going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's been here for years and he's been doing it day in, day out, game in and game out. Harry the Hitman, Harry Smith. Harrison Smith, 6 total tackles, solo tackles. He had the sack on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you've seen on social media, somebody's got the back picture of like Rodgers is like this, and then you just see and Harrison's like they've got him when he's like starting to crouch, like when he's going to come into that tackle. It's like oh my, it's like it's like those pictures where you see the like the cougar or the jaguar or something like coming to leap on it. It's a pretty cool picture. But Harrison Smith is a big reason why that defense that B-Flow runs works because he knows how to disguise, he knows how to coach the rest of the players into how to do these different things. So he's my bad MFer of the game. That big sack that he got, and then he gets up and does the discount double check the
Yes.
belt
Yes,
celebration.
that was
I thought
awesome.
that was beautiful. To do that right in Mr. Ayahuasca's face. I thought that was perfect. So he gets my bad MFer of the game. But there was, like you said, the Beeflo's defense was really amazing. We could have picked, 4 or 5 different guys. We could have picked Beeflo himself just for having the scheme that he has out there. But Harrison Smith, future Hall of Famer, he gets my bad MFer for this week.
Nice, nice. Well, like you said, a lot of candidates. You couldn't go wrong. So with that, that wraps up this week's recap. Obviously, we will not have one next week. However, the Minnesota Lynx are in the WNBA finals starting tomorrow night, so we definitely will be bringing some more content there. I am trying to line up some national stuff next week in regards to boxing, as well as my buddy B Naughty wants to do a Twins post-mortem, Twins season
Ooh.
post-mortem, which I will say my buddy Brian B Naughty, he is very opinionated about the Twins, and it should make for good content. So nonetheless, we'll definitely the guys will be coming with some more content here over the next week. Uh, I promise. I've been kind of out of the loop a little bit the last few weeks, trying to get the last of my trout fishing in, amongst other things, as before the season closes. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow, give us comments, give us feedback. We definitely appreciate it. Steve, anything else before we go?
No, I think you got most of it covered. Yeah, the Lynx are in the WNBA finals, and this brand of basketball, I'll just give another shout out. It's physical. Like you don't see this in the NBA today. These ladies are getting in there, and people are getting smacked when they're going in for the ball. They're tackling, damn near tackling each other at times, trying to get the jump ball. They're very physical, and the refs are letting them go. The refs are letting them play. So this is a really good brand of basketball. And the Lynx, when they turn it up and they get that ball moving, and they've got 4 or 5 legit 3-point shooters on the line from 1 through 5, they can shoot the three. It gets crazy real fast. So I'd recommend you watch that. We've got games 1 and 2 out in New York, games 3 and 4 if needed back in Minnesota, and then game 5 back out in New York. It's actually going to bump the last preseason game for the Timberwolves, if there should there be a game 4. Hopefully we sweep. We don't have to worry about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll have some more of that stuff. I'll be out next weekend, but then I'll be looking to get some more people on as well. So we'll have plenty more content coming up.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Good talking to you as always. Looking forward to, I'm sure, a game one recap tomorrow night from you. And with
Yep.
that, we will see everybody later. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.